These are breakup songs. They're breakup songs.
So, you learned to sing when you were around 3 years old. Do you have any memories of your early music training?
Oh man. The story there is that my mom taught me how to sing when I was very little. That was just my mom being very, I think, nurturing at that point, and it's a point where I needed it. I think my family is mostly a sports family, and the more that my dad pushed me into sports, the more I just wanted to go sing with my mom and have fun there. It was only in 2020 that I got my master's in vocal performance. So that's where I got to where I am now.
I did not even know this, that you were a master's in this. This is so cool.
Yeah, I didn't get it until after The Voice, but I was supposed to get
Mm.
it during, I guess, filming. I was supposed to start it then, and I had to push it back because I was like, I didn't know The Voice was gonna take over my life for that moment.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you mentioned The Voice. Obviously, that's kind of a hot button topic in your career. Can you tell me about how that experience has inspired where you are now in your music career?
5 years out, it's an interesting time because when I did the show, I ended my season in December of 2019. And, when you leave a show like that, you suddenly get a lot of attention kind of coming your way from a lot of different places. In my case, it wasn't just a new fan base, it was also a lot of nonprofits because of my backstory that I got to work with. And you're expected to kind of make the most of that and ride that wave as much as possible. And literally within 2, 3 months, there was a pandemic. So that wave never really came.
Now, you mentioned that you're putting out an EP. Can you tell me a little bit about
Yes.
any themes or like the vibe, what people should pay attention for?
My last record, I put it out in June. It's an EP called "And the Shadows Will Fall Behind You," and that in itself is a Walt Whitman quote. There's a lot of naturey themes to that record. You could kind of see the storytelling throughout those 4 songs. And those were songs from my folk band when I was in a folk band in my early 20s. And I wanted to reimagine those and kind of put them out the way that my brain had initially thought them to be. And so this upcoming record is a continuation of that. The record by itself is called "Searching for the Crown of Bliss." It's a quote from John Milton from Paradise Lost. And I'd like to say there's more naturey, profound stuff to it. These are breakup songs. They're breakup songs. And that's okay. So it's me kind of making the most of that, and it's just the second half of a list of songs from my early years that I wanted to put out and have in the world.
And then, okay, the last thing I wanted to mention is that you've been very public, of course, about your Asperger's diagnosis. Have
Yeah.
you had any experiences where people have come up to you and acknowledged the impact that you've had on them?
It was interesting for me being on the show because that was the first time I had been out about that. But that being said, on the show itself and ever since, I must have gotten like at least 1,000 different messages from families, from moms, from relatives of people who were either on the spectrum or knew somebody on the spectrum, and they were just very happy for the representation. I was the first person on The Voice who was openly autistic. No matter how I felt about it internally, it felt really good to carry that torch, and it felt really good to help those people feel seen through what I do.
Well, thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I
It's all
really, really
good.
appreciate this.
Yeah, no, and thank you for the interview. You're good at this.